Eh-neeek-chock. I can't even get through the introduction. I've been dying to do that. Can you tell I've been waiting to do this? Today we are looking at the very impressive and the very large and tall Apache Chief. Finally able to complete the collect and connect wave here. I say finally like it took me a long time. It only actually took me 2 weeks to get all of the figures, as I bought 4 of the 6 all in one weekend. Then the following week I bought the last 2 figures. But over the course of shooting these videos, it did take just a little bit longer to be able to put him together as I was, putting together as I was reviewing all the other figures. Now, since Apache Chief does not have a bio written on any type of a box, since he actually came in 6 boxes, I printed one off of Wikipedia, as you can see there. Something I think would have been cool for Mattel to do. I know it's one little more step that they could have done, but it would have been neat, is for them to print up like a little tiny poster, maybe like this, that had a bio that maybe you put with the 6th and final figure of the Collect and Connect, or maybe the first figure, whoever it is. So then we would have had just a little bio just to read, just in case somebody didn't know who Apache Chief was, that they would have had a bio to read. So, and if people were concerned or curious like me, they could go to Wikipedia or Google it and they would find out. So if you bear with me just for a little bit, I'm not going to read, there's 4 pages of this, but I'm not going to read all 4 pages. That would be entirely too long. So I'm going to read just through a quick little bullet points that would be kind of like reading the back of the box for all the said characters. It says, Apache Chief is a fictional Native American superhero from various Super Friends cartoons created by Hanna-Barbera and based on the comic book series of the same name developed by Jerry Robinson, Bill Finger, and Bob Kane as the creators of Batman and the Joker. So they just kind of listed some other people, not that necessarily created him, but based on characters created by. So there you go. It says, he was one of the new superheroes, as I can hold on to this, one of the new heroes added along with Black Vulcan, Remy the Jungle Girl, El Dorado, and Samurai, to increase the number of non-white characters in the Super Friends ranks. He was voiced by Michael Ray. In the Challenge of the Super Friends series, Apache Chief was seen in every episode except 1 and has spoken lines in only 9 of the 16 episodes of the series. So, there's that. Sorry, as I'm kind of trying to go through some of these points here. His arch enemy from the Legion of Doom was Giganta, who also happens to be an original arch enemy of Wonder Woman. And they do have an abilities listed here. It says ability to grow or shrink in size, tracking abilities, 6th sense, can speak and understand language of animals. A couple other little small bullet points here. It says, by speaking the words Eh-neeek-chock, and you want to see how it's actually spelled here. Excuse me, hiccups. There you go. As you can see, it means big man, which is kind of appropriate. It says Apache Chief would grow in size in an episode, grow to an ultimate size in an episode entitled Colossus. Apache Chief shouts Eh-neeek-chock to grow to supersize, making himself able to battle the Colossus, a titanic space creature that plucked Earth from its orbit and placed it in a small glass bottle. There we go. Wow. Originally, his tribal powers limited his growth to only 50 feet tall. However, in one episode, Man in the Moon, he used the atom's knowledge of atomic size, and he was able to increase his growing to ultimate size. He was able to grow 1/5 in size of the Earth, with 1 foot the size of the entire eastern United States. So, there's a little bit of background and history on Apache Chief, as he was a created character to show some ethnicity with the Super Friends cartoon series. To kind of show you some size and scale of Apache Chief here, here is the Bane from the Collect and Connect Wave 16. And as you can see, Apache Chief stands about a head and shoulders taller than Bane. I haven't Bane is the only Collect and Connect figure that I've put together outside of the Bat Signal, which really doesn't count. So I was assuming that most of the Collect and Connect figures were going to be approximately the same size. And I was kind of hoping Apache Chief would be a bigger figure as he is depicted in the cartoon series. And I thought while I was slowly putting him together, I thought, man, he'd be really cool if he was taller than Bane. So I guess I'm assuming by seeing these two Collect and Connect figures that most of the other Collect and Connect figures may be in different size and scales with each other. It's just not like the stock body that you get from all other superheroes. And to really show the size of Apache Chief, here is my Robin figure from the Young Justice line. And as you can see, he doesn't even quite make it. He doesn't even make it to Apache Chief's belly button right there. So as Robin is the smallest figure that I own, and Kid Flash is just a little bit taller than Robin. So I thought, well, Robin's the smallest, so it'd be nice to kind of show you size and scale with Apache Chief. So that does make Apache Chief the largest Collect and Connect figure that I own, but I only own 2. So of course he's going to be the largest. So we'll move Robin and I about said Apache Chief and Bane out of the way. Since we kind of saw El Dorado already, let's bring up the rest of the figures from this line, and we'll kind of go over, you know, what I think of the line and all that good jazz. So this is only the second time that I've ever completed a whole Collect and Connect wave of figures. And like I said originally, this wave for me is a pure nostalgic looking wave, as Bronze Tiger is totally blocking Toyman back there. There we go. This just puts me right back in my childhood and makes me obviously think of the Super Friends here, the cartoon series where these heroes are from, with the exception of Captain Boomerang and Bronze Tiger. Something I believe I've said before is I kind of wish Mattel, when they were putting their lines together, seeing that we have 4 figures from the Superpowers team, I would have made all 6 figures Superpowers figures. You know, I would have put Zan and Jaina in here and pulled out Bronze Tiger and Captain Boomerang. Even if those are the only 2 that they pulled out, I know that Zan and Jaina came in a 2-pack from I think San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con, one of the 2. But they could have re-released those figures for the rest of us that maybe didn't go to Comic-Con, and then that would have really made this feel like a Super Friends collection. You know, Toyman was featured in early Super Friends episodes, so you could have argued that point. Maybe they could have re-put out Firestar and thrown him back here. That would have been really cool also. Maybe made Remy from the Super Friends to include there. Captain Boomerang is a cool figure. I've got a Flash, so I can pose him with the Flash. Like I mentioned in Bronze Tiger's video, I really don't know much about him, and I'm not knocking the figure at all or the character for those of you that like Bronze Tiger. He's just one that I was the least interested in buying. When I was going through and seeing all the figures that it was going to take to make Apache Chief, I was kind of like, Then there's this Bronze Tiger guy. I mean, he's okay. And I kind of feel a little bit about that way with a Toyman, and even kind of Captain Boomerang too, as they weren't figures that I really wanted to have. The ones I really wanted are the main 4 here, as I punch Samurai. You know, that are Samurai, Black Vulcan, El Dorado, and Apache Chief. As I have, you know, Superman and a Batman and a Flash and a Green Lantern. That's going to be really cool after this video to go have them stand with the rest of the Super Friends, or my Justice League, if you will. They're just going to look very cool, so I'll have all 4 of them kind of standing together. And then I'll put, you know, my villains with my villain side, and Bronze Tiger is going to kind of go somewhere probably in the back part of the row. This is a very cool line. Like I said, my wife initially bought 2 of the figures right away as they were on discount, and she's like, you know, if we find the rest of these figures on sale, it might be you can go ahead and, you know, pick these up. Because I was kind of saying, with all the trouble that I had doing the whole collect and connect, I said, I don't know if I want to do it again. But we kept going to different Walmarts and Toys R Us's, and a lot of these figures were all still there. The two figures that I paid full price for were Bronze Tiger. I paid the full $15.97, I think, for him. And God, I want to say it was El Dorado. I may have to go back to my videos, but I bought El Dorado and I got Samurai 50% off, so I thought that was pretty cool. Captain Boomerang was $11, Black Vulcan was $11, and Toyman was $11. So I think that is pretty good there, being able to buy them. Actually, I think these were my buy one get one 50% off. And go back and check it out on my channel, as I'm kind of rambling here. I think this is a very cool line. I think this line really appeals to those of us that probably grew up watching the Super Friends. Maybe some of you that weren't around in '77, maybe you've bought these DVDs and you've been watching the Super Friends cartoon series, and maybe that was something that you wanted to pick up. And I think that's probably a big reason why a lot of these figures became, you know, peg warmers and shelf warmers. This was really geared towards the real diehard collectors and those of us that watch the Super Friends to really want to pick these up. So if you were lucky enough to get a Zane and Jaina, maybe now you have a complete Super Friends collection. Apache Chief, Black Vulcan, and Samurai were made into the JLU figures, and Samurai was the only one out of the whole bunch that was made into a Superpowers action figure, which a cousin of mine did have a Samurai, and I thought that was pretty cool. Something I didn't mention in the Samurai video is Samurai was created to kind of take place of Red Tornado. He has the same power set, being able to fly using his feet is kind of like a cyclone. So as opposed to having, you know, a robot in there, they thought they would have an Asian person of Asian descent to have the same type of power set. So there you are. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review and the Collect and Connect. Apache Chief, as you can tell, stands very tall against his counterparts in this wave. I'm very happy to have completed this whole wave. I didn't have to do a whole lot of looking, and mainly because a lot of these figures are still on the shelves at a lot of your stores. I recommend doing it just coming from me. Remember being a kid in the 70s and 80s and watching these on Saturday mornings and just falling in love with the superheroes. And that's kind of where I really started developing my love for the comic books and, you know, superheroes in general, was because of the Super Friends, you know, hour of cartoon series. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Right after this, we're going to get into Batman Arkham City Wave 3 figures, so stay tuned for that. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogue, signing off and saying, we will see you next time.